Hey everyone, it is time again to talk about upcoming releases. And there are actually some interesting things coming out. Things that I'm actually excited by, which is saying something lately, because I don't know, lately I've been just kind of like, eh. I've been looking at a lot of, pre-loved items in the jewelry space and the clothing space. And I've been talking about in the makeup space and the cosmetic space, how I really do harken back to a lot of the products that I used to be able to buy, that I used to use. And some that I still use, even though they're really old. Don't do that. Do as I say, not as I do. But there are some new things coming out that I'm kind of interested in. So we're going to talk about those today. I'm also going to talk about some new brands that I think I'm going to start, including in my list of must-haves or must-look-at type of things in upcoming purchasing decisions, and some that I might, tinker with about how I buy. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you've watched me before, these videos are basically, there's a couple of content creators that I follow over on Instagram. They talk about new releases all the time. The person I've been following the longest is Tavia at Chic Profile Official, who currently is doing a really amazing sale on her Instagram page. Go ahead and check it out. I'll make sure her name and image goes up above. She is selling a lot of really unique pieces of her cosmetics collection. And you should check it out in case there's things that you're looking for. And Emmett Beauty Talk has been doing an amazing job. She always does a great job, but like lately just hitting it out of the park with every single new release, and I've just been really impressed. A lot of the pictures are from her Instagram feed. I'll make sure all that is attributed to each picture, but I just wanted to mention it. Let's start with a brand that I'm disappointed in, really, is the word. Guerlain has been a brand that I've been in love with for a very long time. I loved Shalimar, when I was young, like when I was a kid. I think my aunt wore it, and I loved the scent of it. There's a lot of perfumes by Guerlain that are iconic, and the brand is iconic, and I still think that way about many of their perfumes. But I'm disappointed in some of the decisions they've been making lately. Again, we've had this conversation about, uber luxury, ultra luxury, and some of the bottles that they're creating and some of the things that they're doing that I think is focused on that market. But this new Rouge G lipstick case really, I don't want to say it angers me, because it's not important enough for me to get angry about. There are things in my life that, I are much more important than this, but it's almost an insult, in my opinion, to all of the people that have been spending their money, hard-earned money, and who I have been telling that these are great things and you should go buy them and you should collect them, because you can always put their lipsticks in these cases over the years, which are not cheap. They are expensive. These Rouge G lipstick cases, for them to reintroduce the Rouge G lipsticks, which they say that are now better, the formula, which may or may not be, I don't know, with cases that no longer fit the old lipsticks. So in other words, if you buy a new lipstick or new Rouge G lipstick, it won't fit in the old case, and the new cases don't fit the old lipsticks. Now, I have heard this discussion of, well, it's a matter of product sourcing and we need to be more sustainable and all those things. Sure, but here's the thing. My daytime job, I work on issues as it relates to supply chain, not specifically makeup. Very true. But I know, absolutely know, that you could have made the case exactly the same. The only reason you wouldn't be able to make the case exactly the same shape is if you somehow lost a patent to that shape. If that's the case, then you should tell us. I don't think that's the case. There's no reason for you to redesign the case so that it couldn't fit the lipstick, except that you want to make more money with these new cases. So any other explanation is not gonna cut it, for me anyway. So I have not picked up the new cases, and I have not picked up the new lipsticks, and I don't know if I'm going to, because I spent a lot of money on the old cases and the old lipsticks, and I recommended to all of you that you do the same on certain cases or certain shades. Now, I never push anyone to buy anything, but I certainly said, I love these and you should pick them up, thinking that at least the case you could always put, the refill of lipstick in it, which will not be the case anymore because they've redesigned the lipstick. So that means all the new lipsticks that come out won't fit in the old cases. So when your lipsticks eventually go bad, which the lipsticks do, those cases become pretty adornments on your counter. So I don't know if I don't know if it's responsible of me to then say, yes, you should get these new ones. I'd love your thoughts, but I have not bought them yet for that very reason. It's not a commentary on their perfume, but it's definitely a commentary on their beauty market and how disrespectful I feel it is to the consumers who have supported them. Yeah. So anyway, let's move on to Prada. Prada has come out with new Color Reviver lip balms. There are 4 shades. There's one that's blue, which is really cool looking, and I admit I do want that just because it's blue and I think it's cool looking. It seems to me that the blue one, if you look at these swatches that Amit Beauty Talk put up, I think that's the pink, the U001, and then the other ones are different shades. I have heard really good things about the lip balms from Prada, and I love the Prada lipsticks, so I will probably pick those up because I feel like, I like Prada and I like what they've done. Yves Saint Laurent, another brand that actually I'm very impressed with. I like what they're doing. They have new mini clutch eyeshadow palettes in 4 new shades. These do look generally neutral. There's one that's like a grayish silver one that are all pretty. 700, 710, 800, and 810. I'm probably going to pick them all up because I ended up picking up all of the other Yves Saint Laurent ones, so I might as well just get them from the start, as long as they didn't change the formula, which I don't believe they have. So, I think Yves Saint Laurent has done a really good job moving into this new realm that they're moving into. They're trying to bolster their beauty brand. Then we have Makeup by Mario. It's come out with a new product, which I actually have on my face right now, which is the Soft Sculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serum. Guys, this is a product. Again, I'm afraid to say anything because it's going to go away and no one's going to be able to get it, but this is an excellent product. This is an exceptionally good product. It goes into the skin. It's sheer. It's beautiful. It doesn't accentuate lines. I have it in Fair, which is more of a contour color, but I'm going to go find the other colors and swatch them and see if I want to pick some up for bronzing, because I can find nothing wrong with it other than the fact that it is, of course, a contour color for me. Fair. It says bronzing and sculpting. This one is sculpting, but totally worth it. Totally worth. Again, I hope he continues to make it because just thrilled. Just thrilled. Talking about perfume brands and like how brands like Prada is getting into the makeup world, Fendi is coming out with its first fragrance collection. And it looks like the bottles are very reminiscent of the Celine bottles, because it's kind of interesting. Celine is getting into lipsticks, Fendi is getting into perfumes. There are, I think, could be wrong, I think 7 different scents from this picture. That's what I'm taking. It looks like, we don't have any details right now, but I got to tell you guys, I'm definitely going to at least try one, try to get samples at least, because I like the Fendi brand. I don't like everything that Fendi does, but I like a lot of Fendi things, and I used to be a huge Fendi fan back in the day. So I'm looking forward to trying the perfumes, and I hope they're good. I really do. I hope Fendi hits it out of the park, because that would just make me happy. Next, Dior, which Dior and I have a complicated relationship. Dior has come out with things that have been my favorites, like with the eyeshadows when they came out 4 years ago. I was like, oh, revolutionary, thrilled. The maximizers that have come out recently, I love the glow maximizers for the face. Just amazing. And then they do other things like reformulate their eyeshadows and blushes, and you're like, what happened? What happened? I will have the single shadows from the new ones, the reformulated ones, in comparison to all of the other single shadows I have from like Sicily and Chanel. And I'm going to be doing that video coming up soon, and we'll talk about that. But I did pick up, I think, 1 or 2 shades so you guys can see the comparisons. But they do have these new blushes. And this was originally reported by Angel Naked _1, who I love as well. And they look pretty. I don't, you know, we'll have to see. We'll just have to see what these are like. 287, a harmony of pink matte and lilac glow. 257, pink matte and gold glow. 457, coral matte and sparkling pink glow. And 100, matte contour and nude glow. You know, let's see how the formula is like. I love the colors. To me, these look like they would work better on someone with my skin tone. I don't think they look very deep. But again, it's hard to tell with pictures. Yeah, they look interesting to me though. I definitely want to try them. And so that to me is like exciting because at least it's something different. And I'm like, oh, that's different. I would love to try this. So we'll see what's coming up there. NARS has a light reflecting prismatic powder in shade in Interstellar that's going to be released in fall, which is usually like August. I actually have been very impressed with the NARS products overall. Even the new bronzers, Laguna, I think is a great shade. Laguna 1, I think it is. It's really good for fair. It's just like a cream is great. I really like the blushes, the reformulated blushes. I'm not really sure why they needed to reformulate them. I think it was more of a clean beauty thing, which we've talked about. But either way, I think they're good and I do like them. I've always liked the NARS pencils. They've always been excellent. So I'm interested in NARS. I hope they have more of a comeback, you know, because again, back in the day, it was a huge favorite of mine. So I'm definitely, you know, rooting for them is what I would say. Chanel. Y'all know my thoughts about Chanel because we've been talking about Chanel for such a long time. I love Chanel. I used to work for them. I chose to work for them. I think very highly of the brand. Some of the older products, whether it's the bags or the jewelry or the makeup, are some of my favorites of all times. The recent introductions have been hit or miss, but I will say lately I have been impressed with some of their direction. I feel like the three women that are heading up designs have an interesting take on beauty and cosmetics, and I think there's a possibility here for something interesting. So I'm hoping, how's that? I'm hoping that the collections going forward will be interesting. I have seen, as many of you have as well, and Amit Beauty Talk is got some pictures. I'm gonna put them up. I'm kind of afraid. I will say the blush highlighters look pretty. You know I don't like the balm stick things. I don't like them, but I'll probably buy one. The eye pencils though, the eye pencils, those Nuage Blue, Neon Dahlia, and Dream Leaf. They look like great shades. Especially the blue. I have to get it. So, I'm excited about that. I will also say I'm excited about Chanel Couture, like ready to wear. I watched the fall runway show and I gotta tell you guys, there is some massive 80s looking jewelry in some of those shows. Now, I don't think I can post those either. But go check out I'll just post like a screenshot. I think I can do that. I can't show us the video, but I can like post a screenshot. Some of the jewelry looks like stuff that I obsessed over in the 80s and 90s and could not buy because I didn't have any money back then. I could possibly buy them now, although I don't know because like the one shirt I liked was like $6,000, so maybe not. But I'm hopeful. How's that? I'm hopeful for maybe this fall, like loving what Chanel's doing. So we'll see. So then there's a couple of indie brands that I want to talk about. Sweet Beauty, which I have gone on forever about, right? I don't think there's anything that's new that they have introduced, but I will start looking for any new products from Sweet. The most recent one was the Miracle Powder, which is really good. And I will, continue. I'm going to do a full face of Sweet Beauty video. That's coming. But anything new from them that comes out, yeah, I'm gonna make sure I review it for you because it's phenomenally good. Nera, N-E-R-R-A, check it out. Their dry oil, phenomenally good. And if you like jasmine, you have to pick this up. It's not cheap. It comes in a glass bottle. It's like 3.4 ounces. It's 100 and some odd dollars. But there's actually a 4-step process, like an exfoliating process. I am really interested in doing that because I'm trying to do more with wellness, and I feel like it might be a really good ritual for me. RMS Beauty. RMS Beauty is a brand that I just did a video where I talked about their new bronzer, Boardwalk Betty is the shade and it's absolutely gorgeous. So new things from RMS I'm also going to really try to focus on because I think they're doing really good things. And I want to bring that brand to you because I think it's a brand that although not necessarily luxury, is very high-end, very well done, and extremely good for people who are looking for enhancement to their look without like covering everything up. I think it's a really good brand to invest in. I also want to mention Lisa Eldridge. Of course, we all know Lisa. She has recently introduced new lip balms. Did I get all 6 shades? 5 shades. 5 shades? Yes, I did, because they're glossy lip balm, and I love Lisa Eldridge lip products. You know, it was that simple. So I got them all. They're on their way. I'll review them when I can. Wayne Goss also has synthetic brushes that came out. I did order a few of those brushes. I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to see them, but I will make sure that you see them, and I will review them for you as soon as I have them. I thought they were supposed to ship at the end of May, but it's past that at this point, and I haven't seen anything from them, so from Beautylish. So I'm not absolutely sure on that. So what I'd love to hear from you guys, are there any brands out there, like new brands, niche brands, emerging brands that you'd like me to add to the list? Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to suddenly stop getting Chanel and Tom Ford and Dior, but I think especially with Dior, I might pick up less of the eyeshadows, and I might be more like, you know, hey, I'm just going to pick up like 1 or 2 pieces from their collections. Chanel, I'm actually interested in the direction they're going in, like I said. Tom Ford, I hear there's some good things coming from Tom Ford, so hang on there, fingers crossed. You know, Sisley and Clé de Peau, I'm interested to see what they're going to do. But yeah, I want to try to mix it up a little bit and have some more brands that might be a little bit more obscure to you, things that you don't necessarily see as often, like Sweet Beauty, which by the way is now growing is growing because I've seen it on other massives. I've seen it on other major retailers, and I've seen a lot of other influencers talking about it as well. So I'm like, okay, good, because it's a great brand. But if there's others that I'm like missing that you really think are worth getting out there, I'd like to start including those as well. And I think there are definitely brands like Dolce & Gabbana, Prada, Hermes that I will keep an eye on as well. Chantecaille, I want to mention, they have come out with their summer collection. The bronzer in there is a new bronzer, but it's warmer. So, it's not, I don't think I'm going to pick it up. If you want me to pick up, I am going to pick up parts of the summer collection because it does look nice to me, but there wasn't anything in there that was a new product. Like it wasn't like, the Forever Glow product from Dior or the eye pencils from Chanel, which by the way is a retread of old, but they are new. I have those things. I have their blushes. I have, I didn't see a new formula. I didn't see anything that was really groundbreaking. So I didn't feel like it was something I needed to go get right away. However, I do love Chantecaille. So again, I'd love to hear from all of you if you want to see it sooner rather than later. I'll certainly focus on that if you want me to. And, again, these videos, these Will I Buy It's, the purpose of them is to try to help all of you plan for future, purchases and budgeting. And I think as I've been trying to do and weaving this into my videos about sustainability and expense and costs going up with quality not necessarily following, I think it's important for me to really not only talk about it, but do that with my channel by introducing brands that may be a little less expensive, still not, inexpensive, but more reasonable maybe for the quality that you're getting. I do want to look for good packaging and, pretty shiny things too, don't get me wrong, but I think it's important for all of us to recognize that you don't need to spend a lot of money to get, the nicest things. Sometimes, yes, and usually you have to spend a reasonable amount of money. And what I mean by that is rarely in life can you get something, an experience or a product that is great quality and of great importance to you easily. Usually those things take effort or time or money. It just seems to be a tenet of things, of life. So I'm not saying that, you can buy something that's truly inexpensive and it's going to be as good. But I do think there's a middle ground that we can find without spending, $200 for a lipstick or for something like, a new bag that's $6,000 where the turn doesn't quite work. So I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear your thoughts about what you'd like to pick up in the coming months. We're still in the summer, going into fall, and as you know, the fall collections are my favorite, so I can't wait till the fall holiday. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you in another video really soon.